Hello again. I want to start with this video with the focus on project management methodology. The first point I want to raise is something we touch on more than once, and we'll probably touch on many times again in the future, is the common gaps in practice. Many professionals who study ISO or PMBOK guide, they might understand some concept, but when it comes to really applying them, they struggle with some key points. One of them we highlighted early is the concept of confusing project life cycle with project phases, or basically thinking that the project life cycle consists of the process groups. That's a common misunderstanding that is really critical and does affect project performance. The second main issue is that many people look at a book like the PMBOK guide and they think it's everything about project management. They think they can manage project just by reading the PMBOK or understanding the PMBOK or passing the PMP. What they miss to understand that the PMBOK emphasized that there is a need for the organizational project management system, which was the subject of the previous mission. The third major area of confusion is the concept, and we've seen it every day, is people refer to PMI and the PMBOK as the PMI methodology. Well, obviously, PMBOK is not a methodology. Now, some people, when they hear us say, they say, you're criticizing. No, we're not. This is what PMI is saying. This is what the PMBOK guide itself is saying. What the PMBOK says, read chapter 1. We're not going to talk about somewhere in the middle. It's really in chapter 1 and chapter 2. And even in the notice page, and even in some social media marketing messages from PMI, it emphasizes the concept that the PMBOK guide is a framework, is a guideline, include a standard inside it to help people, organization understand how to manage a single project. But what they tell us also that it is not a methodology, and in order to practice proper project management, you need to have a methodology that goes with the PMBOK guide. So sure, you can use the PMBOK guide principles and concept and transform it into a methodology, but the PMBOK guide itself is not a methodology. If you look at IPMA, obviously before IPMA, ISO is the same way. ISO resembles PMBOK in a way. It doesn't offer a methodology either, and it recommends you to build your own methodology. IPMA focus is competence, and we touched on this earlier as well. And IPMA doesn't offer us a methodology either. Many organizations and project management community today do not offer project management methodology. Why? Because project management methodologies are typically custom built. Organizations have to build their own methodologies, their own methods that fit the type of the project, the size, the complexity of the project they have. Managing a project in IT is different than managing a project in healthcare, is different than managing a project in the oil and gas. Obviously, some of the principles are common. Some of the concept of the processes are common. However, in terms of a methodology, or methodological approach, maybe we should say, is definitely highly dependent on the industry and the type and the size and the complexity of project. So this is why we don't see many literatures out there on methodologies, because it's typically built in. SUCAD have been championing the concept of project management methodology since 2007. We have developed a methodology that can be used in organization, of course, after customizing and adapting the methodology. The name of our methodology is Customizable and Adaptable Methodology for Managing Project, in short, CAMP, C-A-M-M-P. And the reason we chose the name was the term customizing and adapting is because organizations should take what our work, the work we have done, and we have published more than one book on it, and will be publishing many courses on this as well, is to take our work and convert it or adapt it or tailor it to their own needs. We have done a lot of the work so they can start with substantial content instead of starting from scratch. And our methodology includes things like learning from IPMA about competence, include learning about the process from PMI and ISO, include things about sustainability from GPM Global. So what we have built in the methodology is something that is quite unique, quite interesting, quite comprehensive, and is building on others. So basically it's like, I'm not sure who said this quotation, literally we were standing on the shoulder of a giant. So we were not reinventing the wheel. We are not starting from scratch ourselves. We have built our methodology based on global experience, years of experience in the real world by myself and the SUCAD team, also from the numerous standard and guide that exist in the project management community today. Now, I'm not going to expand more on CAMP. That will be the subject of the next adventure, and we will see you there. Today, what I want to end this video with is to talk about 3 essential things that must be considered in methodologies. And maybe I'll add to those 3. But the 3 core elements of building a methodology, first, it must be end-to-end. It should cover the project from idea, from the beginning all the way to closure and even beyond. So it should not be limited to a stage or a phase of a project. Yeah, that is the stage management. That is not, maybe you can call it stage methodology if you like. It's not a project management methodology. So the project management methodology must be comprehensive, cover the project end-to-end. Because it covers the project end-to-end, here is the second element, which is we need to have it, we have to have the project life cycle, because the end-to-end is a project life cycle. We need to subdivide that project life cycle into phases or stages, depend which term you like. In the CAMP model, we use both. So these are specific time elements along the life cycle, each one of them with a specific focus or a purpose, which means it will deliver some kind of an output, a document that we might call it stage deliverable. The third core element of a methodology is stage gates. Every stage must go through a formal review process to ensure that the work up to that point is done according to the organization and project practices and guidelines, and then consider whether the project still makes sense to go ahead into the next stage. So this is what some people call stage gate process, and which is essential. So we must have an end-to-end project lifecycle model. We must have phases and stages. We must have stage gates. What else do we need to have? Well, we already touched on many of these things. The methodology has to be tailored to an organizational context and the type of the project. A methodology or a method has to reflect the size and complexity of the project. And there are many, many, many other things we will consider in future modules and future adventures as you continue to learn and pursue the quest to mastering project management. Thank you.